Right, in this episode we're going to be doing the invisiframe on the down tube. Now, got two strips, so we're going to run them back to back. Should cover the whole way down and the whole way up. So we've got those, and to do invisiframe what you need is the solution. So we've got water and a little dribble of Johnson's baby shampoo. That'll give you enough time to move it into place, get it right. And then obviously you need your little squeegee thing, squeeze all the water out and so on. You want clean hands. It's a waste of time wearing gloves or rubber gloves because you find that it will stick to the actual invisiframe strips a little bit too easy. So in terms of doing this, you want to make sure that obviously you've got everything clean. You've cleaned all your sides. You don't want any bits of crap underneath that invisiframe. Make sure that your frame is all clean as well. Obviously I degreased and cleaned all this last night. I've got a clean rag, lint free as well, because you don't want little bits of microfibers in there. So we'll start and we will start and get these on. So what you want to do is you want to give the area that you're putting the invisiframe on a good squirt down. Then you want to give your hands, get them all soapy and wet as well. And then what I tend to find is squirt your invisiframe strip. So then, doing it that way, you're not going to get any fingerprints or anything underneath the invisiframe strip either. So, peel that off, and as you pull it off, bit of fluid, and then spray the actual adhesive area. And then what you want to do is you want to line that up nice and straight. There we go, so it's equal on both sides. Get it in the top like that. And so that's on there, so we want to now lock that into place. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run the squeegee down the centre just to lock that in. And if you do find that you've got any bits underneath, with your solution you can pull it up ever so slightly. So lock that in, and then what you want to do is you want to push all the fluid out both sides. Because you're starting from that centre where you've already locked it down, and then push it all the way out, there we go. And make sure you've got no bubbles or anything like that. If you do want it to stick a little bit quicker after this stage, then use an air dryer on the heat setting and go over it. But that piece is on, so we'll give that a wipe off. And now what that will do is that will protect that from any stone chips, moisture or anything like that. So that's one piece. So let's get the next bit on. So we're going to do the bottom bit. So give it a good spray down. Get your invisi strip. Give your hands a good soaping. Spray the invisiframe. There we go. So it's nice and soapy. Peel that off. Now obviously you can get from invisiframe the entire full kits. They do mainly sets for more modern bikes, so getting one for a vintage bike is going to be a little bit harder. So if you are doing any kind of invisiframe, you do sometimes have to trim, cut, but there's only going to be a few places on this frame that we are running invisiframe on. So what we're going to do is make sure again that is nice and centre, top and bottom. As you can see, I'm running it directly, probably half a mil from that one to that one, and then it finishes just before it hits the actual cable plugs, mounts, bosses, and so that's lined up. So I always tend to give my squeegee a bit of a soaping as well, because it makes it easier as it's sliding down the invisiframe, just to give it that little bit better gliding motion. And we've locked the centre in, so now the centre's in, we know that's locked into place, that's not going to go nowhere in the centre. And then what we're going to do is work from the centre and squeegee all that fluid out on both sides, making sure there's no air bubbles, no soap left underneath. And obviously you can work this as well, making sure you've got every single bit out from all on the sides. And that is invisiframe. Now invisiframe is really easy. Like when you first start off doing it, you do tend to take your time, and it is worth taking your time with it, but once you've done it for a while it gets quite easy. So I do a lot of like e-bikes, full suspensions where it's an entire kit. Usually takes what, 2.5–3 hours to do a mint job on it as well. So, but that is the down tube invisiframe done on this. So we'll give that a little wipe off and get rid of the old strips, we don't need them. Obviously you do find that you do get soapy water all over, but it's an opportunity to give your workbench a nice clean afterwards. So as you can see, I'll hold this up, might not show in the light because again it is an invisiframe, but there's no bubbles, it's all fresh, you can hardly see it running down there, and it does exactly what it says on the tin. It's an invisible frame protector, as you can see, if it will focus, but that will just give it that little bit of protection down that bottom down tube. So I'm quite happy with that finish. That will preserve that, stop any more stone strikes and so on. You can see a few down there, some ever so slight marks, but unfortunately that's what you get with a 25-year-old bike, to be fair, but the condition of it is relatively nice. Now we won't do it today, but what I will do, and I'm going to do, is I'm also going to run an invisiframe strip just around that shell just there, because that is prone to kind of chain catch and a lot of dirt builds up there, a lot of grime. So if I can protect that area just there, then that's a win-win. And then we'll go from there really. I think that is a job well done. So next video, what I'll probably do is service up the rear mech, drop off all the jockey wheels, give everything a good clean, and then polish up the front mech. Then we know both derailleurs are done, get the back brake on, and then we will move on to the back wheel because the hub needs servicing, new cassette, new tyre, inner tube, got to clean up the rim brake surface and go on from there. And then after we've done that back end, we'll move on, get the headset back in, get that all serviced, get the forks all stripped apart, cleaned, fresh oil, and go from there. Join me on the next one.